Hello everyone and welcome again to the class. My name is Audrey and today we'll have an interesting reading lesson. Okay, so as you can see in the description, today's class is about how we use texting and how that might use or how that might change our language. So of course it does change some things, but we'll have to see if you think it changes things positively or negatively. Okay, so this is going to be kind of an opinion article that we're reading. And as we continue reading this lesson, try and form your own opinion or try and figure out what you believe and share it with us. Okay, so again, if you have reservations, you can go ahead and join now. I apologize for the technical delays, but go ahead and join as soon as you can and we'll get started. Okay, so again, if you'll read in the description, you can learn a little bit more about our topic. I apologize for the strange lighting, but again, the topic is about texting and how texting and our digital age kind of transforms our language. Okay, so if you want to, you can go ahead and look below to grab that link, grab that document that's in the bottom, and that is the document that we're going to be reading today. Okay, so it looks like we have Roman. How are you? Are you there, Roman?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. How are
excellent.
things?
There you are. There you are. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Very good. Very good. And tell me again where you're from, Roman.
I'm from Ukraine.
Okay, perfect. You've been in my class before, right?
Yes, I have
Okay.
been.
Excellent, excellent. So wonderful to see you. And we have Igor returning. How are you, Igor?
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
Very good.
How are you?
Very good. I'm excellent, still excellent. Okay, so nice to see you as well.
Did you look about thumb rule?
I did look about it. I didn't forget about you. I looked at it at the end, but it said that the thing was uncertain. The origin was uncertain.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Very strange.
Right, right. But it did mention something similar to what I told you. What I remembered was that they used it again as a way to measure things, even though it wasn't very accurate. Okay, so they would measure things either with their thumb. There was another idiom, rule of fist, that they would measure things with their fist. But it was just a very inaccurate way of measuring, but how they could get a general idea of something.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So it helps a little bit, but it said it was uncertain, so.
Okay.
Okay, let's see who else we have. Is it Joel? How are you? I think your microphone is muted. You might need to unmute your microphone. Click on that red button.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
No, it's right.
Yes, now we can hear you. So how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, very good, very good. Where are you from? Brazil, maybe?
Yes, I'm from Brazil.
Okay, excellent. Did I say your name okay? Is it Joel?
From right.
Okay, perfect. Nice to have you. And let's see, we also have Zinyu. How are you, Zinyu? Are you there? Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay, wonderful to see you today. How are you?
Fine.
Okay,
Nice
excellent.
to see you again. You are
Yes.
very beautiful.
Yes, very glad to see you as well. Thank you. Okay, and you're from China, right, Zinyu?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm from China. It's a
Okay.
big country.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, and it looks like Igor, oh, never mind. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this document up on the screen. Again, take a look at our description. We're reading an article. It's kind of an opinion article about how texting and communicating with technology can change the way that our language develops. Okay, so I hope you find that topic interesting. Let me pull it up on the screen. One moment. While we're waiting for this to come up, what do you think? How do you think that technology changes our language? Does anybody want to comment on that?
Yes, I can try.
Okay.
I think that at the end of 21st century, our vote have changed, and with change make us more closer to each other, because developing of the internet and other communication technologies make our interaction more easier than it was, for example, 10 years ago. And actually now we can I can speak with you and with other students, but we are in the different part of world. So I think our verbal link lesson is a very good example of modern communication.
Right, exactly. Okay, so we can definitely see how modern technology and modern communication can change the way that we're able to interact and the people that we're able to interact with. Okay, so I've posted the link there in the chat, and it's called "Is Texting Killing the English Language?" Okay, so it's discussing a little bit if usually texting on your phone is what it's referring to, but how texting might influence the English language. And think about this as we're reading it. Think about your own native language and how you think texting or constantly communicating on phones and mobile devices could affect your language. Okay, so I hope everybody
Teacher,
can see my screen.
Teacher, can you put the link also in the Google chat?
Oh, in the Google chat? Sure,
Yes,
sure I
because
will.
I have problems with the Berlin chat.
No problem. Okay,
Thank
can
you.
you see it now?
Yes, thank you, teacher.
Excellent, excellent. So we have a couple people joining us, one of which is it Ida?
Yes, it's Ida.
Okay,
Hello.
excellent. Hello, how are you?
Well, not really well, because today I'm having a lot of problems to join to the classes, and I'm a premium user and I don't know what's happening, because I have been all the morning trying to go into classes and it's impossible to me.
Oh, I'm not sure. Is this the first class that you've been able to join?
Yes, but not by myself, because Igor has helped me to go to the link to the Hangout. But when I try to make a reservation, I can't. It's impossible. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, could you type either in the Google chat or the Verbling chat what problems you're having, and I'll make sure to tell the Verbling staff. Okay.
Okay, in the Google chat, because the Berlin chat it's not working.
Okay, so yeah, just tell me in the Google chat all the problems that you're having, and I'll make sure to send that message to them, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, excellent. But it's nice to have you, Ida. Where are you from? Okay, maybe we'll come back to you here in a second. We also have Alpha. How are you, Alpha? Are you there? Are you there, Alpha? Alpha Pilot? Oh, I can see you in the chat, okay? Okay, let's see. Jean-Marc, how are you, Jean-Marc?
How are you? How are you doing?
Very good, very good. And how are you?
Well.
Okay, it's excellent to see you. I hope you're doing well. And you're from France, right? Okay. I hope there's not too much delay in the audio, but okay, we'll get started. So I hope you can see the text. Again, the article is called "Is Texting Killing the English Language?" So as you're reading, I'm going to be correcting any pronunciation mistakes that you have and you'll also be able to ask me any vocab questions. And classmates, if you know any of the vocab words that your other classmates ask you, go ahead and answer them. Tell them what it means, and we can help each other out. Okay, so let's start first with, Ida, would you like to start by reading us the first paragraph?
Yes, of course.
Okay, excellent. Can you see it? Are you there, Ida? We can't hear you. Okay, we'll come back to you here in a second. So no worries, we'll come back to you. Let's see who else we have. We'll go to Igor. Igor, would you read us the first paragraph?
Yeah. I hear background noise a lot. Oh, I muted that person. Texting has long been considered the downfall of the written word. Penmanship for illiterates, as one critic called it, to which the proper response is LOL. LOL. Texting properly isn't writing at all. It's actually more akin to spoken language, and it's a spoken language that is getting richer and more complex by the year.
Okay, excellent. So this is our introduction paragraph. There might be a lot of questions here. The only pronunciation correction I wanted to make to you, Igor, is this word right here, illiterates. Illiterates.
Illiterates.
Perfect, perfect.
Illiterates.
Okay, everything else was great pronunciation. So let's open this up for questions. And we'll start first with Igor. Igor, did you have any questions in this section?
Yes. The downfall. What is downfall?
Downfall, okay. So the downfall of the written word. A downfall is something that causes something else to fail. Okay, so again, everybody who might not be familiar with texting, since this is what we're talking about, this is very important that you understand. So here is a picture of somebody texting on their phone. So texting, we're talking about communication on phones or mobile devices. And texting has long been considered the downfall, or something that has caused the written word to fail. Okay?
Okay, and the penmanship for illiterates?
Right, penmanship for illiterates. Does anybody understand that phrase? What could that mean, penmanship for illiterates?
Illiterates are people who don't know to write,
Mm-hmm.
and don't know to read even.
Right, right. So illiterate people are people who can't read or write. So what do you think it means by calling texting penmanship for illiterates?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that word penmanship? Do we know what it means, penmanship?
No idea.
Okay, so penmanship is writing, handwriting usually. Okay, so penmanship is usually the type of writing you do with your hand, with a paper and pen. So here they're calling texting penmanship for illiterates, meaning the way that people who are illiterate write.
Okay.
Okay? Does everybody understand that? Penmanship for illiterates. Any questions about that phrase? So it's kind of repeating the first phrase. Texting is considered the downfall of the written word, or penmanship for illiterates, meaning this is the way that illiterate people communicate. Okay, what do you think about that? Just that first sentence. You disagree with that, or maybe you do agree with it?
Who?
Anybody, anybody.
I'm on the fence.
Oh, perfect.
I'm sitting on the fence.
Excellent. Nice to hear that idiom. Okay, you're on the fence, so maybe you
Yeah.
think in some ways it can be, and in other ways it's not really.
What is on the fence? Sorry.
Right. Igor, tell us what on the fence means. We learned it last class.
When you say I'm sitting on the fence, you do not have opinion about some topic, or you are undecided about that topic, or you do not want to say your opinion, maybe.
On the fence? F-E-N-C-S?
Yeah, fence.
Right, exactly.
F-E-N-C-S. And
So
you
to
say
be
I'm
on the
sitting on the fence.
Right. So it means Igor is undecided. He doesn't have a clear opinion about this.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
I do not want to say my opinion. Maybe.
Is that the truth, that you don't want to say your opinion?
No. I don't have any opinion.
Okay, so hopefully as we continue reading this article, you'll start to form a little bit of an opinion, or at least to think about the idea. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I agree with this statement which mentioned in this paragraph.
Sorry, can you say one more time, Ramon?
I agree with opinion which mentioned in this paragraph. Because, is it clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you agree with this, that you think that texting can be the downfall of written language, right?
Yes, of course, because modern technology and modern world don't take us enough time to write properly. People is hurry when they typing some message, and usually they forgot about grammar rules, or even they try to make words shorter. So I think it's have some sense. It is have some sense.
Right. So it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense that texting could destroy, in some ways, the written word, because people are always trying to make things shorter, trying to forget grammar rules and just say something in the quickest way possible.
Teacher,
Okay? Yeah, go ahead, Zinyu.
Can I talk about my experience?
Okay.
I'm a teacher. I have many students. They can communicate with cell phone through sending text, but they
Even
have
for
some difficulty to write an article. Their articles are very bad. Although they can speak with a cell phone. Thank you.
Right, exactly. So you'll find a lot of times that people, they're very good at communicating with cell phones, but sometimes they have difficulty writing formal articles. Okay, so that can be the problem. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue. This is again just our introduction, so start to kind of form your opinion, and of course be willing to discuss that opinion and ask any questions. Okay, so let's go to the next section. And let's see, Ida, are you there now?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, excellent. Would you like to read this next one for us?
Of course. First, some historical perspective. Writing was only invented 5,500 years ago, whereas language probably traces back at least 80,000 years. Thus talking comes first, writing is just an artifice that came along later. As such, the first writing was based on the way people talk with short sentences. Think of the Old Testament.
Okay, very good. So again, this is giving us some historical facts before we talk about how texting might affect our language. Okay, so writing was only invented 5,500 years ago, and language dates back so many more years, 80,000 years at least. Okay, any questions that you had there? We'll start with Ida. Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, everything's okay? Yeah. Anything else? Anybody else in the class?
Teacher, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you?
Fine. So I was thinking about the last class I had in college. When we are talking about English as an international language.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that the language English is not a specific of England or United States, but the English is becomes the word English. Okay, so we have, for example, the Brazilian English. Okay, we have the Spanish English, because each nation has the own way to use the language.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that anything is going to kill the English. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So maybe, in your opinion, you think that this texting, it's not going to kill the language, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And do you think that it might affect the language? How do you think that it might affect the language?
Repeat again.
Right. If it doesn't kill the English language, do you think that it could affect it?
Yeah, a lot. It's going to change the way of the writing, né? How in every language, here in Brazil, teacher used to become short the word when writing, so short with one letter or two letter, and I think that a foreign people foreign would not understand, but okay, that's all.
Mm-hmm. Right. So sometimes, and that happens here too, people will talk, and the way that they text, maybe people who are learning English would have no idea what that means. You might see some texting shortcuts or different ways of writing things that just looks like a completely different language just to make things shorter. Okay, so that's definitely how it could change the language. Any other comments or questions? Excellent comments, by the way.
I would like to add something to last statement, because I agree that now writing language is in danger, because writing language usually we use for spread information, but now in our modern time, I think we have internet and communication technologies which don't need writing language. So I think now we are presenting in time when writing language in real dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Right. And remember, I just wanted to point out that when it says that texting is going to kill the English language, it doesn't mean that we're not going to speak it anymore. It means that we're destroying all the grammar rules that we used to use. Okay, so like you were saying, Roman, this texting could kind of be a danger to the written language and the language that we all right now accept as good language. Okay? Great comments. Anything else to comment? Anybody else would like to comment or ask any questions about the article?
I want to say something.
Okay.
When a non-English person speak with the mistakes, that is called mistakes. Okay, that is counted in the mistakes. And when a native English speaker making mistakes knowingly, that is called the new phase of English. So I just want to I want to say that.
You call it a new phase of English?
Yeah, when the youngsters, mostly the youngsters, English-speaking youngsters, made mistakes in English, they call the new style of English or new phase of English. And when we, the non-English speaker, made mistake, that is called the mistake, and we are targeted for that.
Right. So it seems kind of unfair that maybe native speakers can kind of talk however they want, and when people who are learning English change the way they speak, it's like a mistake, right?
Yeah, I'm agree, totally agree. But we are making mistakes, and also which they are destroying the English, like the youngsters, especially. I hear them. They are changing English completely. They use weird word and strange word in English which we cannot understand. And I asked American lady, she's also my friend on Skype. When I asked a word to her, she said this is not related with the English. This word is not related with the English. And that word said by a youngster, American youngster.
Right. So the language is constantly changing, and you can decide whether it's stylistic, whether they're changing the style, or whether they're just wrong. Okay? They could be making mistakes as well.
But ma'am, when we make mistakes, we are punished by the teachers.
Right. I hope I don't punish you too much.
No, I'm not pointing you. I'm pointing my teachers, which who teach me here in Pakistan. And they say you are getting wrong English. You are getting wrong English grammar, and so these kind of things. So I'm just sharing my thoughts with you.
Yes, and that's an excellent point. That there's a difference between learners of English and native speakers in English. Okay, excellent. So we're going to go ahead to the next section, but keep thinking about that. You guys are making some excellent points. Very interesting. So let's go next to, and we'll have, is it Aguinaldo?
Okay, come on. However, while talk is largely subconscious and rapid, writers deliberate and slow. Over time, writers took advantage of this and started crafting tapeworm sentences such as the one from the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. The whole engagement lasted above 12 hours till the gradual retreat of the Persians was tending to the disorderly flight with which the shameful wait a moment. With which the shameful example was given by the principal leaders and the Sultan himself.
Okay, excellent. Let me point out two words for you. The first one is subconscious, here in the first line, subconscious.
Subconscious.
Okay, excellent. And the next one is rapid. Okay, perfect. Everything else is good. So now let's look at what this paragraph is saying. It's showing that there's a difference between talk and writing. Okay, while talk is largely subconscious and rapid, writing is deliberate and slow. Any questions here?
What is the meaning of in the end of the third line, crafting tapeworm?
Let's see. Okay, crafting tapeworm sentences.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about writing in this sense. It says, over time, writers took advantage of this, meaning writers wrote deliberately and slowly, crafting tapeworm or long sentences. Okay, tapeworm meaning long sentences.
Okay.
So in common speech, we don't talk using long sentences, but if you look at this example, this whole thing right here is one sentence. The whole engagement lasted about 12 hours till the gradual retreat of the Persian was changed into a disorderly flight, of which this is too long. We don't talk like this, right? But this is how we write. Okay?
Yeah.
Other questions? So that's the main point here, is the difference between talk. We talk in very quick sentences. We talk as quickly as we can, say short sentences to get our point across. And when we write beautiful, long sentences that sound very nice and formal, but it's different from the way we talk. We write differently than we talk, right?
Yeah. Speaking
Okay.
comes naturally.
Right, right. And so let's think about the difference between talking and writing. And this is what they were saying in the above paragraph, that texting, the way that we communicate via phones and mobile devices, is more similar to the way that we talk than the way that we write. Okay, would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else?
I agree too, because when we use mobile phone, it's something personal. But when we write something, for example, on the paper, maybe it's more formal. So when we write in the phone, we will make many mistakes, or can, and we sometimes don't use grammar rules, because maybe it's my opinion, because I think it's something personal, and it doesn't matter to do it grammatically right.
Right, right. So in that quick moment when you're just trying to communicate, sometimes it's not so important to be perfectly grammatically correct. You just want to communicate your message in a quick way.
And also message is restricted like how long can be. So you should write very short, and that's why. And it's very boring to write messages in long way, like you write, for example, a thesis, for example, and that's why you write very quickly, because it's very hard to write on mobile phone.
Right, right. Okay, excellent. So let's go to the next section. And let's see, Jean-Marc, would you like to read this one for us?
Yeah. Where is he? Okay.
It starts with no one talks.
No one talk like that carefully or should, but it is natural to desire to do so special occasion, and that was oratory is like the grand old king of speech that William Jasmine Bright. What is it? William Jasmine Bright to live in the old day. We did much with like talking, because there was no machines to reproduce the speed or conversation, do texting and instant messaging do and revolution has begun.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So let's just look at a couple words right here. The first word is desire, desire.
Desire.
Okay, perfect. So it's really that R sound. Make sure to get that clear R sound, desire.
Desire.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And the other one was this one, reproduce, reproduce.
Reproduce.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So again, that R sound is very important. Work on that R sound. I know that it's hard. Okay, everything else was great. So like we said in the above one, no one talks like that casually. No one talks in these long formulated sentences. And like you all said, we all talk in very quick manners, whether it's due to the limit on our phones or just how quick we want to communicate. We text quickly. Okay, any questions here? It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says in the old days or in the past, we didn't write like we talked because there was no way to write that fast, right? There's no way to write as fast as we talk, but nowadays there is. We have computers, we have phones, we can write as quickly as we can talk, and we changed the language to be able to do that. Okay, any other comments?
In my opinion,
Go ahead.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is okay. All of this, if you really know how to write properly and what the real grammars are, I don't see any kind of problem of testing and sorting the words to in mobiles or in computers. But the real problem is, from my point of view at least, is people who are beginning to, I mean, children who are learning the language, the grammar, and they mix all together because they don't have clear the grammar, and they are learning to sort a lot of words and all of that. So that's the real problem, because I can text you a message and put in you see you in 2 words, but I really know how, if I have to write it properly, I really know how to write it, but I don't want to do it in that exact moment. But the problem is that the people that in reality don't know exactly how to write it properly. That's different to kind of persons, of people. I think that the real problem we are having nowadays with children that are growing up with this new generation, and is that a real problem?
Yeah, so I think that's important to point out. So those of us who have experienced having to write, and we've gone through school and we know how to write things, now we use texting as a way to communicate fast, even though we know the correct way to write things.
Yeah.
But there is a generation, like you said, of people who have always been using these texting shortcuts, and so they don't really know what the correct way is. Okay, excellent point. Any comments on that? Okay, we'll go to the next section. But again, be thinking if you think this is a problem or if you think it's okay.
I think it's okay. It's a natural thing because each language is changing in this world now. Even in my language, I also use the short forms in writing. So
Right,
that
right.
is
So you think it's not a problem that languages change, and this is another time for this language to
it's
change.
it's a not a problem for English speaker, but it's a biggest problem for non speakers, non-English speakers. But
Mhm.
it's a natural. I'm not saying it's a negative. It's a positive thing, and it's natural. It's a good thing.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. Good opinion. Anybody else want to comment on that? Do you think it's a positive or a negative thing?
Ma'am, I have another question.
Okay.
Can all people can understand the youngsters now if they use their language? The youngsters, when the youngsters use their language,
You mean native speakers?
yes, when a youngster can use a new English, new style of an English, so can all people understand them?
Not all the time. It depends. Sometimes there are things that are commonly understood, but sometimes the language changes so much, and there are so many new words that it's almost like an entirely new language. So, and a lot of times you'll see there's a stark difference between how young people talk to their friends and how they talk to their teachers or their parents. Okay, so when
Yeah.
they talk to their friends, they're using all kinds of slangs, they're using all kinds of different language and different words. But when they talk to their parents, they want to be able to be understood and be respectful, so they talk differently.
I observed one thing when all people speak, they try to follow the English grammar and try to follow in a formal language. Is it
Hmm.
right?
When older people speak, you mean?
Yes, they try to speak with the grammar base.
Yeah, and again, that's a generational thing. So you'll see the younger generations don't care so much about grammar. If you correct a younger person when they're talking, they'll be like, "Oh, stop bothering me. I don't care." But
Okay.
they just want to communicate in a way that is understood. And this is, of course, general, but there is a
Yeah.
difference. There is a difference between the generations.
So, can your grandmother understand you when you use this kind of language, new
Can
dialects?
you say one more time?
Can your grandmother or grandfather understand you when you use new dialects?
Well, yeah, if you're talking like using all kinds of different slangs, your grandmother probably won't be able to understand you.
I
Okay,
was
it's
thinking that, yeah.
unique. It's unique for me because my grandmother is from Jamaica, so I can't even understand her.
Okay, okay,
So she
okay,
probably can't understand me either.
okay.
Okay, but good questions. This is, of course, having to do a lot with the different generations. Okay, any other questions or comments? Let's go to the next one then. Okay, let's go to Joao. Are you there?
Yeah,
Okay, excellent. Would you like to read this one for us?
yes, of course. It involves the mechanism of writing, but in its economy, spontaneity, and even vulgarity, texting is actually a new kind of talking. There is a virtual cult of concision and little interest in capitalization or punctuation. The argument that the texting is poor writing is analogous, then, to one that the Rolling Stone is bad music because it doesn't use violas. Texting is developing its own kind of grammar and conventions.
Okay, excellent. Just a few words to point out to you. This one, it should be punctuation. Punctuation.
Punctuation.
Perfect. So remember that U has the long U sound. Punctuation. Okay, excellent. And let's see this first word, mechanics. Mechanics of writing.
Mechanics.
Okay, great. Everything else was perfect. Any questions of vocab in this section?
Yeah. What is this word after the economy? Spontaneity.
Spontaneity, spontaneity. Okay, so
Spontaneity.
does anybody know what it means, spontaneity?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us, Ida.
Yeah, I will put you an example. If you talk spontaneous in an spontaneous way, you are talking um, without thinking. You talk in a nature way. You it's natural for you. It's
Mm-hmm.
I
Right,
don't.
so something, exactly, something spontaneous, or if you're talking with spontaneity, it means that you're not thinking so much. You're talking as it naturally comes to you. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, excellent. So, again, we're looking at texting and asking ourselves, is it bad writing or is it a new kind of communication? Okay? Any other questions? Okay, if there are no more questions, then what do you think? Of course, if you'll look and you want to think about what the author thinks, what the author thinks.
What things?
Sorry, I had a problem with my microphone.
Okay.
Um, but you want to think about what the author thinks. So, how does the author think about texting? Do they think that texting is a problem, or do they think that texting is okay?
It
You.
seems
I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Please, ladies first.
Okay, I think the author is the author think that it is okay because it's compare it's making a comparison with the Rolling Stone. It's like a stupid thing. So I think that it is he thinks that it is okay. It's no
Mm-hmm.
problem about testing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And Pawan, what do you think?
It seems to me that yes, offer maintain with statement that texting is evolution of language.
Right, right. So texting is developing, like you see in the last sentence, it's developing its own grammar and conventions. So it is like an evolution. It's not destroying something that already exists, but it's creating something new. And that's the point of view that the author takes.
Mm.
Okay, so I
Okay.
think it's an interesting one. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Pawan.
As you said, this is not destroying this. That is not interrupting in anything. So can youngsters write with their hand? Can they write English with their hand these days?
Right, and that's the question. That's the big question is it true that texting is not destroying things? So sometimes, like you said, Ida, there's that problem of, well, with us, and I speak generally, but with us, it's okay because we know the correct way to write. But maybe with people who are young, with young people, there might be a real problem there because it is destroying their understanding of the language. So maybe sometimes you'll find that young people don't know how to write properly. They can't write with their own handwriting very well because they're constantly texting. They're constantly using technology and using these new grammar conventions to write so much that they forget the old manner of writing. Okay, so that's the question. Do you
Young
think
people,
that it's okay or do you think that it's harmful? Right, young people. Igor, did you want
about
to add?
what age?
Sorry?
About what age young people do not know how to write properly?
Well, it depends. It depends because it depends on their level of education, where they grow up, and what kind of access they have to technology. But if you just think about people maybe 20 years and younger, it could be even 20, 22, 23, 25. Um, that's about the age where you're getting accustomed and you're growing up with this technology.
I think that these people, young people, they study somewhere in the school, maybe university, so they know how to write properly. But if they do not study in school, or I don't know, they maybe not have access to technology. For example, if a poor country, yes, so they if do not have a proper education, like high school or maybe not high school, lower than high school, so they do not have access to technologies like I don't know, computers or something like that. So I think that it's okay to write with abbreviations and with mistakes, because when you write when you study in school, you write properly, because if you do not write properly, you do not have good marks.
Right. Okay.
So,
go ahead, Igor.
so I think it's okay. Author, I think he think what I can write something interesting about, and he think and he decided to write about that.
Right, and it seems like, Igor, you kind of agree with the author that you think it's okay. You think that it's not so much of a problem because, yes, it is changing, but it's okay because those of us who are using this technology have the education to know.
For example, I don't write SMS, but I write in Skype messages. So I write with mistakes, with abbreviations. But when I write something, I don't know, seriously, let's say a letter, yes, to a company, or maybe a response to a person from another company, so I write very correctly without any mistakes.
Okay, yeah, great. Okay, and we'll continue this in just a moment. I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to read. So, Pawan, would you read this next one? I think it's Pawan, right? Is it your turn?
Yeah. Okay. Texting is developing its own kind of grammar. Take lol, lol. It doesn't actually mean laughing loud or out loud in a literal sense anymore. Lol has evolved into something much subtler and sophisticated, and is used even when nothing is remotely amusing.
Okay, excellent. So this word right here, the B is silent. So it's just subtler.
Settler.
Subtler. So that B, again, we don't pronounce the B.
Okay.
Okay, very good. And this, again, like you said, is pronounced LOL. LOL. Okay, and we had a question. I think, Igor, you asked, what does it mean, LOL?
No, I never asked something like that. It's another Igor from Israel, I think. I am not that Igor who asked in chat.
I see, okay.
LOL is like you laugh.
Right,
Very much. Very
Right,
much.
it stands for laughing out loud. But this paragraph is saying that it doesn't exactly mean that you're laughing out loud. Can anybody maybe explain what this paragraph is saying?
Lol. Me, she says lol.
Right, or LOL. We pronounce it LOL. Okay, so what is the point of this paragraph? Go ahead, Pawan.
Yeah, I'm asking what is the meaning of this, the second meaning of this?
Okay, yeah, so what it's saying is, even though it stands for laughing out loud, people don't use it when they're only laughing out loud. So a lot of times you'll see in a chat, somebody will say LOL, but it doesn't mean that they're laughing hysterically, right?
But maybe they laugh in their mind.
Exactly.
So it's the same, I think. If you laugh in the mind, or I not can imagine that you stay, for example, single in a room and you laughing about something very hysterically, very much. So your mind, it's amusing. and it's all.
Right. It means that it's amusing or you're laughing in your mind, which is
Funny.
it's contradictory to the actual meaning, which says laughing out loud. Okay, it means you're laughing loud so that people can hear you, but we don't ever use it like that, right? So it's kind of interesting how texting has changed the meaning of this from laughing out loud to mean laughing in your head or something that is a little bit funny.
Kind of weird will be if you laugh very,
Right.
and I don't know how to say, very emotionally.
Right. So it'd be a little strange if you're sitting in front of your computer just laughing to yourself.
Yeah, about something, about one message, or I don't know what you see on the screen.
Right, right. So I just want to let Ramon, could you read this last one for us, and then we'll wrap things up.
Okay. Jessalun text, where have you been? And Annabelle texts back, lol, lol, at the library studying for 2 hours. Lol signals basic empathy between texters, his intention and creating a sense of quality instead of having a literal meaning. It does something, conveying an attitude, just like the at ending conveys past tense rather than meaning anything. Law of all things in grammar. Is grammar.
Excellent, excellent. And remember, we pronounce that LOL. We don't say lol, we say LOL. Okay? So this is just expanding more on the change of meaning. So LOL used to mean that we're laughing out loud at something, we're laughing hysterically and with a lot of emotion. But now it doesn't mean that. It just means that we find something amusing, or even that we're just having empathy for the other person. Okay, so it's just one way how texting has changed the meaning of this. Okay, and we are out of time. I want to thank you all for being here. Are there any last comments or questions before we leave?
LOL every time.
Okay.
It's a healthy for health.
Yes, so maybe every time you see LOL, you should laugh anyway. It's good for you.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Igor.
From the classmates to demonstrate what is LOL now in class. Who wants to demonstrate?
I think Igor does.
No, I do not want. I ask other people from the class if they want. I do not want.
I think.
Anybody?
Yeah, I think we should all at a time.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Stop.
Okay, nobody laughed.
No, hysterically. I want hysterically.
Okay, if you want it, then go ahead, Igor.
No, I want something, someone else. I can't. So I want to demonstrate to me, someone.
Okay, well, if we can't get anybody, then maybe we'll just have to end.
Yeah.
We're running out of time. So thank you again, everybody, for coming. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I hope you LOL just a little bit. And I hope to see you in the future. Okay, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Take care.
Bye bye.